Alright, here is the video review for Studio Series number 10. This is Deluxe Jazz from the first Michael Bay Transformers movie. And as my hands come in here, you'll see he's very wee. He's roughly Legends. He's smaller even than Bumblebee. He does have his weapon here on the back, and that just, there's a little tab that kind of clips into the spoiler. You don't have to keep it there. That's just where it's made to store here on the vehicle mode. Now, normally I have... I start off with their alt modes facing that way, and it's not a particular intentional thing. It's just where they usually are, and I'm having him face this way because as much as I really do like him, and you'll see that through the course review, he's fun. Like I said, he's a little small, but he's in scale, and he is a fun little toy. However, the way these panels line up, over here it's not so bad. On this side, you can see it's kind of gappy, and I may have to get another one of these to work better, because I'm not sure entirely what's keeping it. I've tried looking up here. If I have the leg out, if I pull his leg out and down, his arm actually does peg in more securely than that on this side. But as soon as I pop this leg in, something doesn't quite fit right. And I've tried all kinds of massaging it and squeezing it, because I can push it down like that, but there's something keeping it from locking up into place as well as this side does. And the more I push on this side, the more this side comes loose. A few gaps I'm willing to live with on a toy this small for the amount of detail they put into it. I just wish this side pegged together a little better. Am I coming in clear? Do not adjust your set. I control the vertical. I control the horizontal. No, I'm just kidding. Anyway. Just cutting in here because I was going to shoot a whole new video and then realized that I still had the raw video and I could edit this in. So you've been seeing me talking about the gapping on the side of the car mode on the opposite side of Jazz here, and it turns out one of my followers on Twitter, Nicholas, he's Dr. Calico, I believe, on Twitter, pointed out that there is a way to make the other side sit flush. Now, mine's still not 100% perfect. You can see this already looks a lot better than it did when I originally shot the video, and that's because, like I said, there was some flash down here that was keeping this gray piece from pushing all the way up, and I cleared that out. And there may still be something up in here that's keeping it from being 100% flush, but you can see that's much nicer on both sides of the car now, and there's a little trick to it. So we'll break in here real quick, because it turns out, as I was showing how to connect all of these, go ahead and pop him apart here. When you pull the legs in, how to make it, how to make sure that these are pegged in right here, these little side bits, when you pull the waist up into here. But as it turns out, there's actually another little trick. Up here, there's a peg on the back of the windscreen that pegs into a hole here on the back of the waist. And if you make sure that that is tabbed in all the way, instead of, because I don't know if maybe I was just not pushing it in and it wasn't sitting, it was just sitting off a little bit. But if you go in there and push that up and make sure that peg tabs in all the way into the waist, on top of making sure that these pegs here on the side go in, it allows all this stuff to sit way flusher, way easier, and that is a huge benefit to this figure. So thank you very much, Nicholas, for pointing that out. I'm going to try to edit this in late enough in the video, but at the end, you may hear me talk about it would be nice if the gap could work a little better in vehicle mode, and as now you know, before we get to the end of the video, that it does indeed. It takes a little bit of massaging, but when you get that peg on the windshield pegged in correctly, it's a much smoother, much less gappy, especially on this side vehicle mode. And like I said, there may still be something up in here keeping this from sitting quite as flush as it does on this side. Because if you look at the back, you can see this is all kind of right up against it. And here, it's just a little bit more of a space. And actually, the way the lighting's hitting it's making it look like more of a gap than it does in general. But it sits way better, way nicer. So if you're having trouble getting your Jazz in the back end to peg together securely, make sure that on top of these side pegs that this post on the top of the car pegs into the back of the waist there securely, and that should eliminate those gaps. So again, thank you to Nicholas. This guy really is great. I'm really enjoying him, especially now that I've fixed that gap issue. So yeah, just be aware of that going forward. And I will now return you back to your regularly scheduled video. That absolutely seems like that's going to vary between, because I've seen others that don't have as big of a gap here, and it's why I may pick up a second one. Also, you'll see some little scuffs here right there and right there. They almost match on either side, so which is one of the reasons that I'm not super offended by it. But it actually came that way out of the package. Like, that is a place where you can scuff it pushing the arms in. But before I even transformed him, he came in robot mode and those scuffs were already there. So maybe that's a good thing, because then I didn't feel bad that I did it. But so he is like he has some clear plastic here, especially this piece, and painted silver on the outside of the vehicle mode. So that is something you want to be careful of when you're transforming it, because you can scuff and scratch the silver coating off of the plastic. But all in all, like I said, it's a nice little version of his vehicle mode from the movie. He rolls pretty well. He's just small, and he has to be to fit in with robot mode scale. But despite his size, there's a lot of fun packed into this, and I really do enjoy him. So let's go ahead and get right to it. So we want to just pop the arms down and out and pull this whole assembly here kind of out on a... You'll see it more when they come out, but there's a little hinge that allows it to rotate down. Get them out of the way, and they come out. You can see you can see that whole hinge. You can bring the arms out quite a bit. They both pull out from the body down here. So a hinge here and then a hinge here to get those out of the way for vehicle mode. Now you can at this point go ahead and do what is one of the cooler parts of the transformation, and that is the whole front end of the car rotates around, kind of like one of Hot Rod's transformation in the old Transformers the movie. You just rotate this whole assembly around. And then you can, at this point, if you want, go ahead and pop his head up. Just lift it up like that. He does have his visor. It does not retract back into his head. It's just a small piece. I mean, it is made up of several pieces, but it doesn't have a visor retracting gimmick like his Human Alliance figure did. It's just there. But it looks good. Pull out just the front center part of his grill and rotate it around. And then there's a little tab there. You can see that it's going to tab into the chest. Like that. And he kind of looks like he's flying like Superman. He kind of is. Anyway, so come back here, pop the legs out from the rear bumper, and then bring this whole assembly down. Now when you're folding it back up, make sure you fold this so this hinge sits flat, because you can see it's connected in two different points. You want those two pins to be pretty much right next to each other. And there's a couple little tabs up here that tab into the front part. And you want to make sure that all gets locked together before you start folding the legs up into the body, because if you don't have that tabbed in, that will keep everything from lining up properly back here. We bring this whole assembly down and rotate his abdomen out. And then these two pieces right here are going to kind of clip onto either side of what is his car hood, which is now inside his body, to bring the lower body together like that. You can see we popped his head back in. That's why I said you can pop the head out. At that point, sometimes it's better to wait because of everything else that's going to be folding around. So you bring his legs down, fold, not the whole assembly, bring the whole, right here, bring this whole thing down at this hinge, and then fold this leg panel with his foot back up, and then come around here and fold out his heel, and that will allow him to stand. So he kind of has flat fronts of his legs with little tiny tiptoes, but it actually looks pretty decent. So fold that up, flip out his heel. Go ahead and bring his arms. Well, don't untab him here. Those are pretty strong hinges. Bring his arms down and around like this. And again, you can bring this whole hinge up and around to give him some clearance with his body. And then flip his hand out. Same on this side. Bring this all the way out, straight out to the side like that. Bring the arm down, flip his other hand out. Now this hand is a four-pronged little hand, whereas this is... The four prongs are kind of coming together to form like a 5mm peg, so they're asymmetrical hands. And we'll show off some of the things those can do here in a minute. And then you take this. He does have a bit of a backpack. You just take the rear bumper, fold it up into that, and then fold this down onto his back. And there he is in robot mode. Like I said, a little bit of a backpack, but all in all, a pretty fun little figure for his size. Poseability-wise, he's got a ball joint on his head, a little limited by the shape of his chin, but he can look around and there's that hinge there. He's got rotational joints at his shoulders, ball joint right below the elbow, as well as you can see a hinge there. No wrist swivel, but again, you can flip his hands around. No waist swivel due to how he transforms, unfortunately. ball joint hips, thigh swivel, hinge knees, and you can move his heel and his foot around to get some solid poses and some wider angles. Plus he has some ankle tilt out to some pretty wide angle poses. Now it looks a little ridiculous having it all this way out with this rotating up, but he's got the ability to spread his legs a little bit and keep his feet flat on the ground, which is nice and gives him some stability. Now his weapon, you take it, you flip this peg up, and it's got a 5mm peg, so you can have it come over here into this hand and plug it in. And there he has his little shield gun weapon. However, you can also, either one of the hands, if you flip them back in to their vehicle mode position, there's a little tab here on the back, and there's an opening here in the gun, so you can actually attach the gun to either hand. Again, so you can see the same tab over on this side, and have it look like it's, you know, a weapon that's transformed out of his arm, much like Bumblebee's cannon. So yeah, all in all, pretty cool. I haven't figured out if there's a way to store this. It doesn't look like there is, to store this in his, like on his back in robot mode. The place where it would tab in would be up in, I mean, you can, I guess technically you could. One, if you left this out, you could tab it in on the back. And if you might be able to tab it in and have it kind of fold up underneath here, but it's just going to be sticking out. Actually, that's probably a bad idea. It's just be hanging down there between his legs. So yeah. Like I said, he's fun, he's cool, he's tiny, but I think that kind of, I think his size actually kind of endears me to him a little bit more. But a nice little representation of Jazz, as we saw on the screen. He does come with the backdrop that all the other ones are coming with, and it is the Mission City backdrop. And they do. I had speculated on this in a couple of videos because I thought they were the same, and it turns out they are, because I also got Voyager Brawl, and while his backdrop is larger, it's the same picture being used in his backdrop as well, and you'll see that in Brawl's video. So the Mission Hill battle is the same scene for the Mission Hill bots. And with the other Autobots released so far, at least from movie 1, here he is with Optimus and Bumblebee and Ratchet. And that almost entirely completes our movie 1 robots. I was waiting to see if there was going to be, I was hoping, fingers crossed, that maybe we'd get a Studio Series Ironhide. And I was wondering if we would, because the masterpiece movie Ironhide is, I think, due to be released very soon as well. And then literally today, like I got him a couple days ago, and I was wondering, oh, are we going to be able to complete in this series the movie 1 Autobots? And I was thinking, well, maybe I can get the old Deluxe Ironhide, because he'd be about the same size as Ratchet here, and he'd fit in okay with these guys. And literally this morning, I woke up, and in Singapore, with no pre-announcement or promotion, Wave 3 Studio Series Voyagers is a re-release of Optimus Prime and a brand new movie Ironhide figure. So I'm looking forward to that. I've seen it on eBay for like $82 and free shipping, and I've been tempted, but I would just pay that much money, and then it would show up like after somebody else, and you'd all watch his video review, and then I would not get it. It wouldn't be worth spending the $82 on. I do want to get him, and if it drops, the price drops a little bit, I probably will get him as soon as I can, because one, I'd like to complete the first original 5 movie Autobots, but we'll see. But anyway, there he is, Deluxe Class Studio Series Jazz. He's, like I said, he's small, and it's a little hard to say. He's worth the same price as some of the larger Deluxes, but I think he is. He's probably one of the most fun Studio Series, and now that I've got, with the exception of Ironhide, I now have all of the ones that are currently out. And I think Jazz might be one of my favorites, if not my favorite so far. I do wish his vehicle mode pegged in a little better on that one side, but it really looks like it's not everyone's going to do it exactly like that. It looks like I just may have gotten one with some sort of minor error or flaw on that side of the car that's keeping it from happening, and I might even be able to figure it out and fix it. I just haven't been able to figure out what exactly is keeping that from all pushing in together flush. But yeah, fun little toy. I definitely think he's worth picking up. He's got a cool design. He's got a cool car. He's got a neat-looking robot. And in this case, I think the old adage of good things come in small packages is true, because he really is a lot of fun. There he is, Studio Series Deluxe Class Jazz.